Salute, Knicks family. What's going on? Knicks and Bruises back in the building. I got a special guest today. Anybody who attended the MBK draft party, annual draft parties, year one or year two, you got to remember the DJ, the guy who held it down with the on the ones and twos, had us dancing, saved the party this past year. With the sour taste of the Knicks trading away their draft picks. Definitely brought the spirits back up with the music. Um, Without further ado, DJ Shuttle, thank you for joining me. Welcome aboard. Your Blackest
All
Time.
DJ Shuttle, all aboard. That's the slogan. So I appreciate that, and that DJ that sway in the morning type intro. I love it.
No doubt.
I might have to cut and paste that and drop it in the mixtape or something.
Yo, well deserved, man. Well deserved. You know what I mean? Like you definitely held it down for us for sure. Um, how you been? How you been? What's going on? And we're gonna get right into it. Because there's some things going around the Knicks universe right now.
Oh man, first of all, coming through this whole COVID and everything like that, with everything we all been through, I'm just happy to be healthy and strong and all of those things. And it's summertime, the bookings is up, we looking great, and I mean, then we got Knicks, we got the Knicks here, so I'm excited like everybody else, following all the excitement, the draft, the trades, the rumors. You know what I'm saying? This is more excitement than we had in a long time right now. So, I'm ready to talk that talk.
Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely shout out to the chat. I want to give a shout out to Sim as well. The Podfather, MBK founder. Um, Definitely inspiration for my channel. The Queen will be joining us shortly. She's always the what does she call it? The residential panelist. So
Okay.
she'll be here. But I'm gonna get right into it. I've been watching and following Knicks news all day long on
Yeah.
Twitter, on YouTube, and I see from NBA Central. It says one league source advised me in Las Vegas to keep an eye out on the Knicks and Lakers discussing a potential Westbrook deal if Leon Rose successfully brings Donovan Mitchell to Madison Square Garden. Very vague and to me very weird. It confused me when I first heard it. I'm like, why would the Knicks be bringing in Westbrook when we have Brunson and then in addition to Donovan Mitchell? Makes no sense. Then I start thinking, maybe it's a three-way trade and Westbrook is going to the Jazz. Maybe uh, a draft pick from the Lakers will be going to the Jazz. Maybe Fournier and uh, you know, I don't want to say Clarkston or Patrick Beverly will end up going to the Lakers, and now we could throw in a young guy and maybe two draft picks. You know what I mean?
Or maybe 3 or 4 draft picks, not 5 or 6 draft picks.
Well, yeah, 3 or 4, not definitely not 5 or 6, the original
Or
asking
7
price.
or 8. Talking that crazy talk.
So maybe that's a way to bring it down, bring the package down. But I'm watching a bunch of a bunch of YouTube channels, the past couple hours, and everyone seems to be mentioning Randall going in that deal for Westbrook, and I've heard Westbrook actually coming here and us buying him out, which again makes no sense. Or well, yeah, or him coming here to be I don't know, I guess a part of the team. I don't know. But to me, there's no way we are facilitating that deal and taking on Westbrook, even if it's in a buyout situation. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it frees up cap space moving forward. So I guess the only way I would see that being feasible is if they know that cap space moving forward is going to a potential free agent next year. Um, what are your thoughts on this whole situation with this report from Mark Stein
Well,
saying look out for a
I
Lakers Knicks Westbrook trade.
it's a couple of takes on that for me. First is my hope is that Rose is definitely playing a high level game of chess, and just um, he's just using the Lakers as a way to get the Jazz to say, you know what, we need to offer the Knicks a better deal, because if they do a deal with the Lakers straight up, then that's going to kill it. The three-way deal definitely is something I could see as a possibility. Also, the only thing is if you're trying to send Randall to the Lakers, the Jazz, from all the reports, seem to be heavy that they want Obi. So, like, there's no way you could trade Randall and trade Obi, and it's hard based on all of the reports we've seen so far that Obi's not going to be in that deal to the Jazz. You know, like so like, what are we going to be giving the Jazz now? So maybe if there's somebody that the Lakers could throw in to supplement some of the contract salaries, and we could keep Obi, then I'm open to it. But bringing in Westbrook and bringing in Randall seems a little odd. But you got 47 million Westbrook coming up the books next year. That ain't really all bad either.
You saying the swap, or with Randall and Westbrook here?
No, I'm saying if you send Randall, if it is a three-way deal, and you send Randall out, then Randall's money frees up because you got Westbrook's 47 million coming off the books next year. So you got another shot at getting another free agent that you can sign before you re-sign RJ next offseason.
I mean, I get that. I would only do that if I already know the guy is coming off the books and he wants to be here. I don't know if I would necessarily want to
Just keep it open.
make the move now for the space. I'd rather try to improve Randall's value because I don't think it could get lower, or you know what I mean, and then try to move him at a higher point where his value is higher, as opposed to moving him now, having the cap space next year, bringing in a roster with Westbrook, Mitchell, Brunson, RJ. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's saying this year we're not competing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Westbrook deal is really a bluff, or
Now it makes
that
more sense.
or that Westbrook is going to the Jazz and they could just buy him out because
Exactly.
they don't want him, and they could benefit from the 47 million plus the 100 draft picks that they're trying to acquire, and they
Ex-
could make a move next year, whether it's
and
a trade
that's
or
and that's and that's why that makes way more sense to me. And then even in that deal, I'm not sending Randall away. I'm sending Fournier away. I think Fournier's more valuable to them. Um, because Randall going there now, AD is stuck at the five. You know what I mean? Like, which he doesn't want to play.
he doesn't really want.
Yeah, Fournier gives them shooting, and if it's Fournier and Beverly, I think that makes the salaries match for Westbrook. So they're taking back the same salary they're giving out. Um, like you said, the Jazz could buy out Westbrook and still get young pieces. Maybe they get a Horton Tucker from the Lakers as well, and that's one less young piece we got to give up. You know what I mean? Or maybe they don't give up the first round pick and they give up the Horton Tucker or one of their young players that makes it one less young
They're
player
gonna
we
have to
got to
come up.
give.
They're gonna have to come up with a draft pick to cut down our draft pick.
Yeah, ours. Yeah, ideally, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. If
Well,
it's
what we
one less,
doing, Tone? What we
we,
doing, Tone?
no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It depends on what we value. If the young player that they want, we feel like is more valuable than a draft pick. Maybe the Knicks prefer to give up the draft pick than to give up the young player, and then in hand, that young player can come from the Lakers. You know what I mean? So
That
that's what I'm saying. If
that
if
that young player would be Grimes for me.
and there you go. You know what I mean? Like, and we're gonna talk about that soon. There's a bunch on the docket, but I think that's super interesting. But in no way, shape, or form Do I give up Randall? Do I move on from Randall at this particular point? I don't think it's soured. I won't even say that. It might have soured that point, but we don't become a better team in that way by just dumping him in that sense.
I agree.
So yeah.
And
Now I know a lot of people say yeah, it opens up the door for Obi to start.
but
I
but
don't know
one
if he's
but
ready
one
for that.
but one thing you said that I wanna piggyback on, which is um you don't want to just use the Westbrook deal for the money next year for who knows when you can and who knows who you're gonna get if you don't already have an end. Like Mitchell, he probably already had his end with Mitchell because you worked with him in the past, et cetera, et cetera. But we know we got Mitchell on deck and we could get him now, right? So a bird in the hand, two in the bush kind of concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, well, you spend a little bit more for Mitch now because you don't know what we're gonna get in the future. And sometimes that's how you gotta play it.
And the roster getting Mitchell and losing Randall, maybe it pushes the needle a little bit, but I don't think it pushes the needle to the effect where we're definitely a playoff team. You know what I mean? Maybe we're a play-in team for like definitely. But my thing is, if that's the case, and we don't make the playoffs, and we have this cap space because we did the trade and we we took on Westbrook. How does that entice a team knowing that we didn't get far in success? Whereas if we playing with Randall and the Mitchell and the RJ, I think we're more likely to be successful. Now somebody wants to come. Now we do exactly what we're doing now. We make the moves to do it. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll still have some draft capital. We'll still have
A
the
couple of young
player like
players.
Randall that could be a large salary filler in the trade. Um, and I'm assuming his value increased by then because he's playing better. So yeah, I don't think you do that Westbrook trade. I don't. The only way you do that is if he's going to the Utah Jazz and they're doing whatever they're doing with him. Maybe they're getting some draft compensation from the Lakers that lessens the draft compensation we got to get. The Lakers could get a Beverly and a Fournier, you know what I mean, or a Fournier and a Rose, you know what I mean, like anything that kind of they feel like is moving on and putting them in a better direction than with Westbrook.
Yeah,
Um,
I
Definitely interested in what the chat thinks. I'm gonna be looking at the comments. Tell me, do you want us to trade Randall in a salary dump, take on Westbrook, whether that's him coming to the Knicks or that's him being included in a three-team trade and going to Utah? Keep Randall or let him go? Do we need to get rid of him by any means necessary? Let me know what you guys think.
mm.
Let's see what else we got on the docket. Well, there's a chess game going on, right?
Yeah, it's a chess game, and I love a good game of chess.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's two shrewd individuals. We got Danny Ainge on one side, a guy who's been known and has the reputation to get the most out of any trade that he's involved in. He puts his signature on or his
And,
okay on.
and we see what they did with Gobert, the Gobert deal. Yo, Timberwolves, are you kidding me? Like, how could you do that deal? Like, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I love Cat. Gobert is a decent player. He is who he is. But I mean, all of them draft picks for Rudy Gobert. Like, I mean, I know this is we talking Knicks, but I mean, this is relative to the conversation because the deal that they made for Gobert is setting the benchmark for how they're probably looking at what they should be getting for Spider. That's what they're walking around the town with. So I'm just like, listen, I don't know, Queen. I don't know. Th-
Peace,
th-
Queen.
I don't know, Queen, man. When you see what they got for Gobert, you gotta imagine. It's like, man, I done got one fool that bought this gold here for $500. I'm gonna get somebody else to buy this other gold for $800. Fool's gold.
Yeah, but Donovan is better than Gobert, in my opinion. Um, I think this is a tough call for the Knicks. I think it comes down to, for me, I don't care what they give up, unless as long as there's something left in the cupboard, so to speak, that we could still upgrade this roster. Because I don't think Donovan Mitchell by himself will be enough. I think he's a good first step, but I still think we're going to need others. So if we go in by the trade, and salute to everybody in the chat that's been proposed, 6 first-round draft picks, some protected, some unprotected, 3 young guys, probably going to need a vet for salary purposes. We have you're still going to be left with 2 first-rounders. You're going to still have Randall, Cam, Fournier. You could put Fournier and Cam in a package to get somebody else. This front office has been pretty good at being able to collect assets and what have you. So I just think they're going to be smart about it. And I think if they weren't being smart, this deal would have been done already.
Done already. I agree with that.
They're being smart.
Take your time. Take your time, Playboy. Take your time, boy. Take your time, Rose.
But do you? There's some people that don't like Donovan at any price. For you, is it just the price, or you don't really see him as that type of guy?
Well, I think there's a lot to like about Mitchell. You know what I mean? Like, first and foremost, he's fearless.
Mm-hmm.
He's clutch.
Mm-hmm.
He's aggressive. He plays hard. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everything that New York fans want in a player, he is a lot of that. So I can see him being successful, very similar to how, many of us, self-included, felt like the Melo trade wasn't really, a great deal in terms of everything that was given up. But when you look at his performance level, his clutch value, his ability to be able to
Mm-hmm.
stand up and face the New York press and everything else related, I think Mitchell would. Yeah, I'm confident he would check all those boxes.
Right.
However, I gotta be honest, like 2 6'1" players in the backcourt concerns me tremendously.
It's valid. That's a valid concern.
You
But
know, like
does
if
it
this deal would
concern
have
you
got
enough?
if
Sorry,
this
go
deal
ahead.
would have got done before Brunson, I'd be feeling a little better about this. Like I would have rather, you know, I would have rather Alex Burke come back
Oh,
and be in the backcourt with Spider, and I probably would have felt more confident that we're not going to have those type of issues. And I
is
don't,
it a month? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and I just don't feel like Spider is enough point guard. He's not good enough with distribution. You know what I mean? And Brunson is not like heavy on distribution. He's more of a scoring point guard, and Spider's a scoring guard. And Brunson has his challenges on defense. Spider's been carrying the load so much on offense. Who knows if he can get back to his roots when he came out to the league, that he actually came out as a strong defensive player coming out of college. So
Well, I have a few questions for you. One, does it concern you enough not to make the deal? Do you think the Knicks can construct a roster around them that can overcome some of those deficiencies? And two, kind of related to this, I'm thinking about Devin Booker when Monty Williams came to Phoenix. Do you think um, Donovan Mitchell can be a better defensive player than he's shown over the last few years if he has a coach that holds him accountable and if that's the culture of the team?
well, I'll answer the first question first, which is that it doesn't, while it does concern me, considering how many players we haven't been able to get, all the strikeouts we've had over all the years, and considering how much draft picks are available, if we could get it down to no more than 5 first-round picks, I might sign off if they call me asking for my approval.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But at six picks, the 6 picks puts it the six or more picks puts it at a level where I really don't want to be at, because I feel like the team has proven that they're really great at drafting, and I'd rather trade up two or three draft first round picks to move up to get a first or second or third pick in the draft, and have somebody on a rookie deal that's going to be great for the lifetime of their year with the Knicks versus trading for Mitchell. But again, that being said, I'd rather just add him at this point, improve the team, improve the level of players. Now you got a better player in Brunson, you improve point. You got a better player at Mitchell. Hopefully these guys help RJ and Randall perform better. And and then now trade Randall in a year or two if you have to. Trade Brunson in a year or two if you have to. So you have
That's what I'm thinking.
some maneuverability in the next year or two, because their contracts, their contracts are not like untradeable. They're pretty fiscally smart contracts considering the deals that'll come with the networks in another year or two. So, five first rounders is that's my cutoff though.
Well, let me ask you this,
Hold
Tony.
on.
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. I want to shout out the chat. Thank you guys for joining. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Queen, I want to matter of fact, go ahead and ask your question, and then I'm gonna backtrack and just fill you up on what you missed.
I get you that the limit is 5. I would like the limit to be 4.
Talk about
I don't think Donovan Mitchell though has reached his ceiling as a player. And I would hate for him to blow up on another team and to be like, oh man, we could have had him, but it was just one more, draft pick that didn't really turn out to be anything. Because the thing about these draft picks, they become valuable. You have to hit on them. It's not just having them. You have to pick the right player, and they have to really, really blossom. So the Knicks have shown that they're a good front office, and they can get draft picks if they need them. I wouldn't let it hold up the
And to your other question, quickly to your other question before about reaching his peak in his defense with Tibbs, I think that he would welcome the challenge, and I think that Tibbs would get him to perform better on defense. But 6'1" is 6'1", and
no doubt about it.
You got 2 6'1" guards. Yep. When you got to switch with Giannis, or you got to switch with Tatum or Jaylen Brown, Jimmy Butler, between Brunson, and it's not even that it's not only that it's Spider, it's the combination of the two of them. Which is what makes it,
it's fair. But now we got a double team. We got to, you know what I mean? There's different things that we're gonna have to do because you're absolutely right.
Team defense,
or that team defense, you might have to run the zone. You might have to strategize better with them to make it work.
And those guys have to guard them 6'1" guards too.
And that's the thing. Sometimes you might just live with it. If their offensive production is outweighing the other team's offensive production, even with their limitations defensively, then you may live with it in stretches, or you may have to make a decision. You may have to play them separately, where now your second unit just becomes that much stronger, and both units become better defensively, first and second.
I'm just hoping that the best defense will be a great offense, and Tibbs will roll in some of that D'Antoni ball, and we'll be running and gunning.
Good. That's a good point, Tony Pete. Appreciate you. Tony Pete, are you new? If you new, welcome. If you're not, I'm sorry, I missed your name before.
And make sure you subscribe, you heard?
And make sure you subscribe, yes.
We're trying to hit that 1,000 this week.
I'm trying.
1,000 subscribers this week. If you're not subscribing already, hit that subscribe button right now, you heard?
And I'm working on a giveaway to be announced. So
there you go.
Oh, there we go.
It's coming. Queen, I got a quick question, and then I'm gonna fill you in on what you missed. When you said the 4 draft picks, like you don't want to do more than 4. are you saying like the four being like unprotected, or is the four like a mixture? And you
Nah, 4 unprotected. I mean, you got
okay,
to give to get.
okay, okay.
Um,
I just wanted to make sure because that's
yeah.
always important to determine or be specific about, because
Can I make? Yeah,
I
go for
rather
it.
do three and then three protected
I'd rather
depending
do
on
2.
yeah, right.
But can
You
I
know what I
say
mean?
something?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think as a fan base, first it was we don't want RJ to be. If RJ was in talks all along, and at the end they said no RJ, we would be happy. But because RJ from the beginning is not in the talks, now it's we can't give up 6.
Mm.
Now 3 of them picks is 3 we just got. For this very moment, we got those picks. Nah, we can't give them up. I just feel like no matter what it is, as a fan base, we're gonna say it's too much. RJ is already not in the trade. Randall is already not in the trade. Those 3, 3 of them are ours. 3 are protected. If those are the 3 they're talking about, we just got them for this
Do you,
moment.
do you know what the are on the Dallas pick?
10, 1 through 10.
Okay,
And
so
the Milwaukee is 1
that
through
one through
5.
four,
4.
four. So those two picks right there are most likely going to pan out. Those are valuable. They're not going to be lottery picks no matter what, but
Right.
because they're not, they're going to pan out. You know what I mean? So I would think those two picks are
Mm-hmm.
valuable right there, and then 2 of our own unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
If I wouldn't want to go more than 3 unprotected, I think that is a stretch. But this actually is a great segue to go backwards to what you missed. Mark Stein had reported. I don't feel like looking it up again, but basically he said, "Don't be surprised or look out for the Knicks involved in the Russell Westbrook trade if they are able to make the Brunson trade." So,
I
I mean,
saw that.
excuse me, I mean not the Brunson trade, the Mitchell trade.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
and I've been on YouTube, since I there's a bunch of shows
Mm-hmm.
recent that were live that I watched, and it seems like everybody is assuming that this is involving Randall. Um, I looked, I digged, I didn't see any reports that says Randall, but one us acquiring Russell Westbrook makes no sense at
Yeah, I
all
don't.
to me.
I don't. Yeah.
Even with him expiring, and that cap space being available next year, unless I have a guarantee of who I'm getting next year with that cap space, to me that makes no sense. But I did say a 3-team trade makes a lot more sense.
Right.
And again, I wouldn't include Randall, but maybe Fournier and Rose going to the Lakers, or Fournier and Beverly from the Jazz going to the Lakers. Us getting Mitchell, a Laker pick going to Utah. Whatever picks we got to include, but this lessons one that we got to give up because they're getting a Laker one. Um, and that being a scenario, but in no way, shape, or form do I see it making sense to acquire Westbrook. I've heard people talking about acquire him and buying him out, and it just being basically a salary dump to get Randall off the team. Um, I, I want to know your thoughts on all of that. If any of those scenarios make sense to you, um, and what do you think?
I don't see, unless we're gonna go with a 3 guard lineup of Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Westbrook. Then where's RJ? So now Westbrook is coming off the bench. Like I just don't. It just doesn't make sense to me. And
Or the
the
buyout?
only,
The buyout.
huh?
There was a buyout option as well.
I
So
mean,
I
if he's
just
gonna come off the bench, okay. I just
no
don't
buyout
buy
like
out who.
Westbrook. So now what I mean. We pay him a little whatever money for
No,
him to.
still, but I'm just saying, where would he play? I guess he would play off in the second unit. I guess.
No, if we buy him out, he's a free agent. He could go play
Oh,
anywhere.
do the trade and buy him out so that he's not.
Yes, yes.
But
Again,
why?
it makes no sense. I agree.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to tell you what some of these Nick
right,
sites are saying and speculating,
right,
and I don't understand it. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
It's confusing to me. So I'm just trying to See,
Yeah.
maybe you see something that they're talking about that makes
Um,
sense. You know what I mean? That maybe you could break it down
this is
to me a little bit better.
to me, if the issue is getting off of Randall's contract, I think you're gonna get more off of keeping Randall and trading him in a separate trade than having cap space to try to sign somebody. Most of the players in next year's free agency is that's good are signed anyway. They extended their contract. So who are you getting? You know, see if Randall can rebound. If he
Hmm.
can't, trade him. You know, trade him. Put him and Fournier and Cam. You can get somebody nice. Let me also say something too. I saw two reports. This was really new that RJ's camp wants the max. I saw it. That was my first time seeing that today.
Look at you segueing me.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. All right. No,
Little alley
you
oop,
want me
little
to
alley
continue
oop.
or let you do it?
No, go. But I didn't have a
So
report.
I
So
said this before. Don't be surprised if his camp pushes for the max that they let him go to restricted free agency to prove that he deserves it, or they trade him. I think trading though is like the last resort. But if they feel strongly that he's not a max player and they don't want to tie up their cap and his people keep pushing and pushing and pushing, all I'm saying is it's probably on the table. The chances of it happening is small, but I wouldn't say it's zero.
and if you're the Knicks, what direction do you go? I'm gonna let Shuttle go first, and then we'll jump right back to you, and then I'll give my take on this report. But that was a nice no look pass you get. You know what I mean?
I got your back,
We
Tom.
in here. Shout out to the chat.
The queen
Appreciate
with
you
the
guys.
queen with the assist. You heard? So, no, I'm not doing any deal for RJ Barrett until the season's over. No, definitely not. Like I mean, listen, you're number 3 pick in the draft. The pick ahead of you has been an all-star. He's an ESPN highlight real machine. He's led his team into the playoffs. He's become the undeniable leader of his team. Like he's performed as a max player, and he's not even in a big city market. John Morant is outplaying RJ by light years, if you ask me personally. So yeah, you're gonna have to have a breakout season this year because and for a full season, not one of these RJ seasons where like you treading water for a couple of months and at the All-Star game you start to get your mojo. Like that's not a max player. That's not what a max player does. So also it's going to be fiscally smart for the team to get whatever deal they can get done now, see what they can do next off season, sign whoever you need to trade or sign, whatever, even if it includes RJ, and wait to pay him next year. You know what I mean? And listen, I'm just like I respect the shrewd moves of the Patriots, and there's been plenty of players that have done very very well, and when they're at their peak and it's time to pay them, they trade them, they get a good haul for them, and they use those draft picks and they get some great rookies and they coach them up and they perform well. So RJ definitely is not at the point he should be asking for a match. We'll see you after the season, bro.
So you would go to the Aiton route. I would go to Aiton route too.
Yeah, I mean somebody else gonna have to max you. Somebody else gonna have to max you
Make
before
us do it.
before I max you.
Are you concerned about his feelings getting hurt? I'm sorry. I feel like Cornerstone Cav co-host now.
Somebody gonna have to ask you to the prom. So let somebody else ask you to the prom, and I'll ask you after they ask you.
Listen, I mean, I agree with you guys. I'm going the Aiton route as well. But the great thing about it is you get to watch how the Aiton situation unfolds as far as during the season, how they mend the relationship. They're gonna be asked about it continuously or constantly, even though that's not the same as a New York market.
You got the
But
money,
you
bro. What are we
but
talking about? You
you
got the
get to
money, bro. What are we
you
really
get to
talking about?
watch it. But here's another thing: if RJ becomes an all-star this year, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Then
give him
you know what? Listen,
change
if you
change it.
they probably
I'll
they
give him the
probably
max.
they probably got their feelers out already, and they know before the off season comes what's gonna be available, not available. If they got their post on the market and they know they're not gonna really get nothing anyway, you know what? Hey man, it's the end of the season. It's 3 quarters through. He made the All-Star season. You know what? Let's just do a good PR move. Let's make him feel good. Put an arm around him, give him a hug, and throw him the max deal later before the season ends.
Yeah,
But
there we go.
but we ain't right now. That's
It's
not even.
it's
That's we not
yeah.
even.
It's,
Don't
But
even
this is
call
the
my phone
thing.
right now. My phone's not. You're going straight to voicemail right now.
This is the thing, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think they have to offer the extension before the season starts, or after that, that's it. He's restricted. Somebody
well, I
correct me
mean,
if I'm wrong.
you may be right. You may be right because I believe that's the situation Brunson was just in, and they had their timeline to do it. I just don't know if it is indeed before the season, before the All-Star break. You know what I mean? Or
Right,
I know there was definitely a deadline,
right.
and they missed it.
I think it's in
But I
October.
remember there was reports that that the Mavs offered the extension. It was just after that deadline that Brunson's can't put out there. Not the actual deadline to where it could it could be done. So I'm not for sure. Maybe I'm mixing both stories.
No, I think you're right. I think it's sometime in the fall,
Okay,
in October,
okay.
actually.
So yeah, they had the time to kind of weigh it out. I
Right.
think Brunson's camp kind of just gave them a deadline, and they say, "Yo, if you don't give it to me by then, don't bother negotiating until after
Season's
the
over,
season
Right.
where they didn't even get the
and we
chance
and we see how that
allegedly."
we see how that played out. But see, Brunson was not in a situation where he could likely get the max. RJ might get the max from another small market team. You know, he's not going to get it from a perennial playoff team like a Celtics or Heat or someone like that. They're not gonna be offering him the max. But like the Pacers, they were in a position where they could offer Aiden. So a team like that, yeah. But you match it, and then
And
Right.
it's done.
now again, we talked about the chess moves going on, right? I feel like there's a bunch of like I think everybody's playing chess right now. I think in a sense the Knicks could have put it out there or wanted it out there that RJ wanted the max
Mm-hmm.
as a deterrent for
Mm-hmm.
him to be included in a Mitchell trade because they don't want to pay him.
Right.
I think Mitchell is out here playing chess, showcasing himself in New York, showing what a like he looking like a New York star that don't play in New York yet. You know what I mean? Like
Walking around with the Mets hat on.
Mets hat, granted, father in the organization and all that. You know what I mean? Going out with Knicks players to dinner. Come on, this man had a bobblehead night for the Cyclones in Brooklyn, and is not a New York athlete. Like if that's not star power and showing what
Mm-hmm.
could be and what is to come, I think all this is strategic on his part. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just a lot of chess games going on right now from multiple different angles. What's your thoughts on that though? The angle of RJ, them putting it out there with so RJ becomes less attractive in the trade. You know what I mean? Moving forward as far as
I don't see I don't see the Knicks front office doing that. I think they've been pretty up front. Um, I don't know if they would do that to undermine his value or something like that. It doesn't sound like how they operate though.
well, I don't think literal value. I think the value in saying, hey, if you trade if it's not limiting his value, it's a deterrent for the trade, him being included in the trade for Mitchell, because now if you trade for him, he wants the max. So like you got to calculate that money moving forward.
You mean our front office or his team is saying that?
Either one, either one. because I think there's still a chance that he resigns here for under the max. You know what I mean?
but
Yeah, that they may be posturing. Right. Yeah.
right, I would see that more as a play from the front office. Maybe even something that they possibly looped him in on.
Together.
They
Yeah.
might have even looped him in on it. Like, listen,
Mhm.
RJ, this is where we at. We're gonna put this report out. It don't mean nothing. It ain't about nothing. Just hold tight and just let us do what we doing over here.
Right.
Yeah.
A salute to JJ. He said RJ won't fit on this roster with Mitchell. I disagree. I think this is the perfect mix for RJ because there's not a lot of pressure on, it's not a lot of pressure on him. You got Brunson, you got Donovan Mitchell. He can continue to grow at his own speed. I think one of the things with our roster was that we were asking our young guys to do too much.
Mhm.
When you look at on other teams, unless you went to like OKC or Orlando, Maxi went to Philly. What did he have to do? Just play off of those guys. Relax. That's why you look good. You look good when your role is limited. You know what you got to do. It's not a lot of pressure. We're not asking you to carry the team. That's the role Maxi was in. And in my opinion, that's why Maxi look great. Let RJ look like that. Play off of Brunson. Play off of Donovan Mitchell. Keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. You're going to be fine. The reason why I like RJ on this type of team is because he's multifaceted. He can play defense. He can bring the ball up. He has pretty good vision. He rebounds. He's a
Rebounds.
willing defender. His 3-point shooting is getting better. He will drive the ball to the basket. Yes, he's inefficient. He needs to get better. But I can deal with the inefficiencies when you're doing all of those other things. When you're just sitting here shooting, and you inefficient, I got a problem. But you're inefficient, but you're rebounding for us. You're a willing defender. You're making the right pass. I think that's how I see RJ.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
that's how I see him.
I'd love to see RJ when you mention his growth and how he could not have to have so much pressure, similar to even Kawhi Leonard. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he comes into Tim Duncan and Parker,
Mm-hmm.
Ginobili.
Mm-hmm.
All you
Mm-hmm.
gotta do is just, all right, well, I'll just do this and I'll just do that and just fit in. And then he organically just grew
Blossoms.
and
Right.
blossomed into, a leader of the
Right.
team eventually when all the old
Correct.
heads is gone.
Right.
So, RJ definitely misses too many layups for my taste, but everything else you said, like I'm just a firm supporter of any player that works that hard
Right.
and that hustles, that rebounds. He's a team player. He's a smart guy. So I mean, my hope is that he won't miss layups forever.
I'm
And I
hoping
think
that turns around this season.
and not for nothing, even though it has been like a consistent issue, I think we can all agree maybe that he's gotten better. You know what I mean? He's gotten better at using both hands.
The end
He's
of this
Yes.
season, I saw
Yes, he did.
a much noticeable difference between the beginning of the season and
Yep.
prior couple of
Yep.
years. It's like, oh wow, he's making these layups.
Mm-hmm.
and part of that makes him even more encouraging to me is as the season went on, and even in the beginning of this year, I think he became his name was on that bulletin board this year. You know what I mean? All season. You know what I mean? So he was a main guy that the other team was throwing their defenders at and trying to make it difficult for, and he had to adjust. You know what I mean? Like he was getting a little bit of double teams this year.
Teams, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was seeing more
Mhm.
focus on him and knowing what he does goes to the basket. Like that's what they were geared to stop.
And now
So
you put Brunson, Spider, and Randall on the team with him.
makes it
Now
easier.
now maybe he could get some shots that doesn't look like he's like
Mm-hmm.
trying his heart out just to make a basket. Like every shot
Right.
is so laborious.
Right.
Now
No,
maybe you can get some easy baskets.
and that's
for Randall too.
and
Randall
that's
too.
exactly where I was going. And that again, perfect segue into Grimes. I'm gonna stick strictly with Grimes and his performance. And a lot of the chatter again. I've been on a bunch of different channels watching, lurking, seeing what the talk is, and I'm hearing a lot of people turning their heads on Grimes performance, and now he's He's not as good as he was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. You know, so I just think it's hilarious. But just like I was saying with RJ, this is the first time in his young NBA career, G League, I mean Summer League, he was the guy on that bulletin board. He was the guy that the team was focused and geared against stopping. I want someone else to beat me on this team. First real bad game of the Summer League, but overall performance, I I think he did great. I think he did great. Finding a new role and exploring a new role that may not even be his role at any point on the big club this year. You know what I mean? But being able to show some growth, expand. You're not going to be able to do everything you was doing all game long, but now you may be able to do some of those things 2 or 3 possessions a game. You know what I mean? And just slowly add that into your staple. I was super excited and I'll say proud, I guess, or encouraged by Grimes' performance. During the summer league, he said he wanted to dominate. I think he did. He showed a lot. I mean, 11 threes, 10 threes a game, he was averaging. You know what I mean? Like, I don't expect to see that. That might be the only thing that translates moving forward. Like he might, the majority of his shots might be threes, but I think he'll get to show some playmaking for himself and for others. Let's talk about Grimes. What you guys think of his performance summer league? And I do want to congratulate the Portland Trailblazers on their win. You know, it would have been great for us to, you know, get the summer league championships and the rings. I know there would have been memes and jokes going all around Twitter and everywhere else. Um, so maybe it saved us, and it was just nice to see those young guys play hard, improve, and show some growth.
I love Grimes' game. I love Grimes' game. I think that he was projected to be drafted higher. So I think the Knicks got some great value drafting him at that position. I think that people, if they go back and do the homework, he's in the same draft class as R.J. Barrett, who was number one, and he was ranked number 8 in that draft class. He actually was rated highly for his ball handling and point guard capabilities. He actually was brought in as a shooting guard, but truth be told, most of his high school career he was playing point. And when people talked about his playmaking in the summer league, they probably didn't know about that. But like I said, I've been a big fan of Grimes, and I was looking at him in the draft that was somebody that we could maybe get as a future, shooting guard for the team. And so I had did a little homework, and I'm like, yo, this guy has more ball handling ability, and he's not just the shooter that I think people have categorized him as. So he's definitely the one guy I don't want to let go out of all the young guys. Like don't get me wrong, I love Obi, but if I gotta pick Obi and keep Randall and keep Grimes, I'd rather do that. IQ is cool, but I'm keeping Grimes over IQ too. So Grimes is the one young guy that I definitely want to keep on the team.
Right.
And
Um.
it's funny
Oh,
you was gonna say that because I was gonna mention you said it earlier and ask Queen is I mean I know if we gotta do it you're gonna say let's do it, but is
right.
Grimes the guy that you're trying to withhold from from the trade? If you
Grimes is
got
a
it out of the young guys, he
yeah.
is he number one?
Yes, I would like to keep Grimes, but this is what I will say though: his efficiency was not there in summer league. His splits was 30, I think 41% from the field, 30% from
For
three,
three,
68% from the free throw line. And I think this is what happens
When
when
your
you
role
take
expands.
guys and you expand their role, the efficiency comes down. It's really good to it's really easy to shoot 40% when you're taking 2 or 3 threes per game, right? Now, when he took like 17 shots a game, like you said, 10 or 11 3-pointers. So he's not that sniper yet. However, And the role he's going to be playing for the Knicks, I think is going to be great because he's not going to be taking 17 shots a game. He's not going to be taking
I'm
11
looking at him.
pointers a game.
Yeah, I'm looking at him as somebody like, let's say, if Spider's out for a stretch, or
Right.
he needs a night off or whatever,
Right.
and you
Right.
slide in Grimes into the starting role,
Right.
and now you still got Brunson, RJ, and Randall. He's still
Right.
your fourth scorer. So
Right.
I see Brunson driving and drawing and dishing, and
Absolutely.
Grimes getting a couple of open threes in the game
There you go. But I
versus
think
Summer League where he's like, all right, I'm gonna come out here and
I'm the guy.
and
I'm
I'm
the
the
guy.
guy.
yeah,
My team.
he's not there yet. And I think though this is something we've talked about with a lot of our young guys, IQ, Obi, now Grimes. You can't when they not keying on you, it's easy to put up the points you're putting up. When they start keying on you, it's a different story. So let our young guys stay in the roles that they're in. Let them continue to get better and get better. And then at some point, they'll be ready to be that lead dog where teams are keying on them and what have you. I don't
And-
think we have any that's ready right now.
Can I make
and
a
don't
sidebar?
give
Can I make a sidebar on that?
yeah.
To that point, right? Having young guys, a team full of young guys that weren't ready, is partially what leads to Randall feeling like he has to do so much, and what led to some of his inefficiency. And like we got to see the full picture with Randall performance. We can't just like look at the numbers only. It's like,
Right.
yo, listen, I got all these young guys on this team. Rose ain't here like he was here the year before, holding me down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I got IQ who's there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's
Especially in
random,
the beginning of the season.
especially but he's random, and he's random in terms of like positioning and controlling the team and getting to the basket, setting Randall up. Dependency that you can say, I don't got to worry about IQ. You got to worry about IQ. Burks ain't really a point guard. You got to worry about Burks. What's he doing? RJ has a slow start. So, yeah, Randall was doing too much. Now you put him in a better position where you got a veteran like Brunson, a veteran like Spider. Oh, Randall's going to do better. Sidebar.
Right.
Nah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I agree. We've said that before that our young guys were in a position where we was counting on them, as opposed to being in a position where if you produce for us, that's great. If you don't, it's okay.
You got time.
And this is
Yeah.
basically what I was about to say. These are the moments, Summer League, putting a guy in the G League for some playing time, where they could get that experience to expand on their game. They could get that experience to be the lead guy, the main scorer. They could get that experience of knowing what it is for the other team to game plan against you. Come back to the big team, go back to your role with some expanded knowledge, with some ability and some practice on some things that you're gonna be able to showcase, not consistently, not all the time, you know what I mean, but just show these little wrinkles in your game, or things that you adapted from your experience in the G League, from your experience in Summer League, where you get that expanded role. You don't want to give that to them when it matters, when it counts, when it could discourage their growth. You know what I mean?
In
You want to let them.
the words of Patrick Ewing, you heard him talk to the kids on the team. When you take that shot, I never seen you shoot that shot. You know what I mean? All right, well, I saw you do it in the G League. I saw you do it in the Summer League. All right, cool. You could drive and do your 1-2. Grimes showed he had more playmaking ability. Open up some eyes with that. So now when Grimes gets the rock and he's shaking and baking, now people won't be like, "What's Grimes doing? He's supposed to be just sitting in the corner waiting for the ball."
Right. And hopefully, to your point, a lot of times when we're speaking to his trainer said he has more to his game, but this is what they're asking him to do. So hopefully they saw enough of his performance in Summer League that they'll feel more comfortable expanding his role and allowing him to do more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man.
And with the practice of it, and with the experience of actually doing it on the floor, now you can improvise sometimes. Maybe you're not asked to,
and not in those gyms by yourself, like your boy Mitchell shooting 3-pointers. Not in the gym by yourself with one of your homies and one of them little kids. like doing it with real NBA players or NBA potential players.
Hungry guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mitch, you
Hungry
shoot
guys.
threes in the gym. What we doing? What we doing? If that boy don't bust a move this year, man, listen.
Oh, I can't wait the preseason. Like I said, the summer league is where we get to see what our young guys have improved on. Preseason is where we get to see what our older guys have improved on. And I'm really looking to see RJ, Cam, Mitch. I'm looking forward to that.
I can't wait to see Hartenstein because, yo, let me tell you something. This little, this white boy got some soul with his ball handling and his passing. He got a 3-point shot that's already proven. So, like, listen, I don't know, man. I play varsity basketball, and listen, the coach tell you to do one thing, but sometimes when you out there, you got to make an executive decision.
Improvise.
Don't be telling me like I'm not trying to hear Mitch with this whole. They only tell me to do this. It's like, come on, fam. In 4 years, you haven't figured out it wasn't an opportunity for you to bust a move in 4 years.
He did it 4 times last year, so that's a one move every 4 year every year average.
Every year.
Hit him with the whole lyrics. Oh, crazy.
Yeah, that was wrong of me too, man. Cause y'all know your blackest time always Nas over Hove if I gotta choose. But
when that lyrics apply, they apply. You gotta let it fly.
No doubt. Anything y'all want to touch up on before we get out of here and prep and prepare for Queen's Court? Queen's Court, 8:00, guys. Everybody, I know I'll see y'all there, but if y'all not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, that like button. Dope Soul Sports Talk as well.
Definitely.
DJ Shuttle. I know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a floor real quick. You could let people know where to find you, where to follow you. What you got in the works, all that. And yeah.
I'll make it super duper quick. You can follow me on IG. That's probably the easiest way to be in tune at DJ Shuttle NYC, DJ SHUTTLE NYC. Every Friday night on 108 Soul, 108soul.com. You can get it via the app or the iHeart app.
For real?
Yeah. iHeart DJ, please put a little respect on my name out here, Queen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What is it?
108 Soul.
Okay.
And so you can download the app, or if you have the iHeart app already, you just type in 108 Soul on iHeart. And I'm on every Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. We do R&B, classics, hip hop, a little reggae, a little soul, a little Afrobeat. I mix it up. I play a little bit of everything. So
that's what's up.
That's definitely gonna get me through my Friday nights at work.
There you go.
Right when we close too.
And we global. So if you're a New York fan on the check-in, but you live in North Carolina, Atlanta, Cali, anywhere across the country or the world, you can tap in and you're gonna get some New York vibes on your airwaves.
Right.
That's what's
up. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. I'll definitely tune in.
Appreciate you.
Any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, listen, let's bring Donovan Mitchell in and let's work. Let's figure it out from there.
For sure.
I'm with it. Let's get it down to 5 picks though.
If we can.
Yeah. 5 picks, 5 max. You know what I mean? If there's some swaps in there, I don't mind. Let's just, like you said, Queen. Let's leave something in the cupboard. We might still be hungry, and we got to have some ingredients to cook with moving forward. You can't just bring everybody in here and still be starving. Go ahead, shout it out, Queen.
Yeah, shout out to Greg. You're right. Stephanie, did you guys talk about Grimes making the first team summer league list? Yes, he did. That's something RJ never used. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the second part of the sentence.
Well,
before I put it up there.
To RJ's credit, though, he didn't play in his second season. If he would have played after his first year and went back to summer league, it's probably a better chance he does that. And just quickly though, since we're talking that summer league talk, I want to give kudos to the Knicks coaching staff, including your boy Tibbs, because as much as some of you guys got an issue with Tibbs, it's Tibbs' foundation of competitiveness, hard work, cohesiveness within the organization, and it's bringing back guys like Grimes and Hunt, who was there last year, McBride,
Yeah.
who was there last year. So these guys now a culture is being built. So
Right.
now you should always have a competitive summer league with the organization that we got in place currently, management and coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
And I just want to say, Craig, man, I'm gonna keep. I didn't throw the link up in the chat, but I need you on camera, and you need to stand behind some of your takes, man. I always appreciate you in here. I always appreciate a difference of opinion, but yeah, let's get you on camera and get some of your takes, man, because I would love to talk about them and let you elaborate about some of them.
He
But
he did he did
always,
but he did say that we got to keep Grimes, which
yep.
was in line with the Queen and I.
Oh, I,
Hmm.
I agree. I agree with some of his takes also, but
Oh, okay, I got you.
I just want to I want him to come in. I want everybody come in, share your thoughts, man. We do the chat show obviously mostly on the crossover, but we implement it on our shows as well. So
Yeah, yeah. I dope so too. I dropped the link so you could come on. So definitely.
that's right. Again, appreciate you guys. We got about 8 minutes to Queen's Court. I'm gonna go get something to drink, and I see y'all over there.
Yep.
Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you joining me, GJ Shuttle. Been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm bringing back the Knicks and Bruises episodes, and Shuttle is gonna be my first guest. I'm working on some
That's what's up.
rebranding things, so look out for that. It's coming soon, and I got some more content from Knicks fans, man. Letting them express they self and talk about some of the misery we've gone through. But yeah, we out. Yo, Black, it's time. Appreciate you guys.